NFL offseason power rankings. Number 4 Kansas City Chiefs try to keep dynasty going after Super Bowl loss. Super Bowl 59 started fine for the Kansas City Chiefs. On their first offensive play, Patrick Mahomes hit Juju Smith-Schuster for 11 yards and a first down. That was the last first down the Chiefs would get until the third quarter, after Kendrick Lamar's halftime show and long after the Philadelphia Eagles had turned the game into a blowout. It was stunning to see. The Chiefs were expected by nearly everyone to win a third straight Super Bowl. They got demolished instead. Kansas City's offense, led by a quarterback who has already established himself as an all-time great, was overwhelmed. Mahomes had started 132 games, including playoffs, before Super Bowl 59 kicked off. The Chiefs had lost only 3 of those games by more than 15 points. They lost by 18 to the Eagles and had a rally to make it that close after falling behind 40-6. In many ways, it was the worst game the Mahomes-era Chiefs have played. The blowout loss ruined a season that would have been the best in decades for plenty of NFL franchises. Join or create a Yahoo Fantasy Football League for the 2025 NFL season. Whenever you lose, you kind of have this taste in your mouth that you want to go out there and revenge that, or whatever you want to say. Mahomes said this summer on the Up and Adams podcast. I feel like I've had to sit back and just listen to people talk, and I'm like, let's just play football and just handle it all out there. I don't really want to talk about it. I just want to go out and show who we are as the Kansas City Chiefs. For most teams, they wouldn't mind talking about a season that began with 15 wins in 16 games, then included a playoff run that included another AFC championship game win over a very good Bills team. The Chiefs are ready to treat it like it never happened, like the Titans or any other team moving on from a 3-14 season. For as great as the Chiefs have been and still are, the loss seems like a pivot point in what already has been a great dynasty. The Chiefs might go on and win many more AFC championships and Super Bowls. But that's a bit more complicated because the 2024 Chiefs just had a really weird and borderline miraculous season. The Chiefs are still on a streak of 17 straight wins in one-score games, which is an NFL record and one of the most ridiculous heaters ever. Even if we acknowledge that Andy Reid and Mahomes give the Chiefs an edge in close games, going 10-0 in games decided by 7 points or less and 5-0 in games decided by 3 or less is remarkably fortunate. At one point last season, the Chiefs were 12-1, and 10 of their wins had come by 7 points or less. And the manner in which the Chiefs won some of those close games was preposterous and unsustainable, to say the least. The field goal isn't going to always doink in against the Chargers, a 4th and 16 defensive pass interference against the Bengals isn't a given. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely's toe sometimes will land in bounds. The Raiders are usually going to have a shotgun snap go off their quarterback's shoulder when they're in field goal range, and the Broncos aren't getting that short field goal attempt for the win blocked all that often. Those are the highlights of the coin flips, if we can even call them that, considering coin flips are 50-50 propositions, and the Chiefs survived a few situations in which they were far below 50% to pull off a win. That went Kansas City's way. Get more Kansas City news. Chiefs team feed. DVOA had the Chiefs as the 8th best team in the NFL. The Chiefs' point differential of plus 59 indicated they should have been about a 10-win team, 5 below what they actually had. They didn't rank in the top 7 of any total, passing or rushing EPA, expected points added, or success rate metric on offense or defense. Kansas City had a net yards per play, offensive yards per play minus defensive yards per play allowed, of minus 0.31, which was 23rd in the NFL according to OddsShark, 2 spots behind the Titans. Giving up in Week 18 and sitting starters in a 38-0 loss to the Broncos skews those numbers, but the 2024 Chiefs still didn't profile anywhere near a 15-win team. If this were any other team, we'd look at these stats and immediately recognize a team that got incredibly lucky last season and is due for a massive regression after being exposed by what looked like a far superior team in their final game. But this is the Chiefs. We treat them differently, and they have earned that. Where do the Chiefs go from here? Does the dynasty roll on? For that, the Chiefs would either need to improve overall or maintain a mind-blowing run in close games. Perhaps both happen. Every time it seems like the Chiefs are showing some kind of weakness, they win another AFC championship. This season they'll welcome back receiver Rashee Rice from a season-ending knee injury, though he could face an NFL suspension for his role in a multi-car accident last year. Running back Isaiah Pacheco never seemed right after returning from a fractured fibula, and it should help if he returns to form. Travis Kelce decided to return for another season instead of retiring. Kansas City was able to retain some key free agents this offseason. There are positive signs going into the season. For most NFL franchises, reaching a Super Bowl is a career-defining achievement. For the Kansas City Chiefs, it's just another chapter in a dynasty that refuses to fade. Coming in at number 4 in the NFL's offseason power rankings, the Chiefs are in unfamiliar territory, not because they're high on the list, but because they're not at the very top. For a team that's become synonymous with dominance over the last 5 years, the sting of a Super Bowl loss has created a rare moment of vulnerability. And yet, it may be exactly what they needed. The dynasty that refuses to die. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. That's been the unspoken rule of the NFL since 2018. Since he took over the starting job, Mahomes has led the Chiefs to 6 consecutive AFC championship games for Super Bowl appearances and 2 Lombardi trophies. His no-look passes, fourth-quarter magic, and impossible scrambles have redefined what greatness looks like at quarterback. But in Super Bowl 59, that magic ran out, just barely. A 24-21 loss to the San Francisco 49ers felt like the NFL gods balancing the scales. For once, the Chiefs weren't the ones raising the confetti. The dynasty had blinked. Now, in this offseason, Kansas City finds itself in an unfamiliar position, the hunter instead of the hunted. And that might be terrifying news for the rest of the league. Reloading, not rebuilding. The loss stung. But it didn't send Kansas City into panic mode. No teardown. No wild overhauls. Just strategic reloading. The biggest win of the offseason wasn't a new player. It was keeping their biggest headache in-house. After a long and tense negotiation, the Chiefs finally locked in all-pro defensive tackle Chris Jones with a multi-year extension. Jones is the heartbeat of the defense, and without him, the Chiefs simply aren't the same. Then came the fireworks, the signing of speedster marquise Hollywood Brown. With his vertical threat and route-running precision, he's the perfect weapon to stretch the field, something the Chiefs sorely lacked after Tyreek Hill's departure. Brown gives Mahomes a burner, and suddenly, opposing safeties are sleeping a little less soundly.